My friends, they aren't even pretending anymore that they don't want more violence. They're threatening it openly. They're telling us, we might have to do more violent stuff. I'm about to play video for you of former Trump strategist and former Breitbart propagandist Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon says, we aren't going to have 4,000 shock troops ready to go. We're going to have 20,000 shock troops ready to go so that we can take control of this country. They aren't even hiding it anymore. Let's take a look at the video. This is from Steve Bannon's program, The War Room, on Real America's Voice. Listen to this.
The opposition, particularly the opposition elite and all their soy boys and everything in Silicon Valley media, it's not a big part of the population. And they understand that. They understand it. The thing they fear is the righteous indignation of the working class in this country. And now they're seeing it. And that's why they're in meltdown. The story, I gave this talk to these appointees, and here's what I said. We're winning big in 2022. We're going to win big in 2024. We need to get ready now. Right? We control this country. We got to start acting like it. And one way we're going to act like it, we're not going to have 4,000 ready to go. We're going to have 20,000 ready to go. And we're going to pick the 4,000 best and the most ready in every single department. And that's when we really start to deconstruct the administrative state. That's talking of CPAC. And they always trying to destroy. No. We're trying to get an FDA at work.
Shock troops on standby. We control this country. We have to start acting like it. And as Zach Petrizzo reported, Steve Bannon continued by talking about the importance of spiritual warfare to his audience to defeat the enemy. This is exactly what the FBI should be investigating. This is exactly the type of thing that will rile people up and get them ready to do horrible things. Again, he's essentially calling for is militia even the right word? He's calling for people to be on standby to forcibly take/remain in power. Now, I do want to sort of turn this around and take it as an opportunity to make a different point. If there aren't more and more serious consequences for the January 6th rioters, that will also implicitly encourage them to try again and to go crazier. This guy was the chief strategist for the president of the United States. This is not ending anytime soon. It's been less than a year since Trump, helped by senators, members of Congress, the MAGA people like Steve Bannon, they encouraged, they incited, they pushed for an attempt to try to take the election from the guy who actually won it, who was Joe Biden. Now, some of the dupes, some of the patsies, that's really what they are. They've faced repercussions to some degree. A couple have been sentenced. Some are in the middle of trials. We talked earlier about the mother and son who were arrested. But none of the people who instigated it in Congress has lost a seat. Now, we haven't had elections yet. I understand that. We'll see if they lose seats. But the point is, it's not clear whether they will really have and suffer electoral consequences for their inciting, for the fomenting of what happened on January 6th. So, we saw the lone wolf recently who tried to burn down a Democratic office in Texas. Things like that, as long as the right continues to, at a structural level, push this type of violent rhetoric, they're going to continue through this kind of stochastic terrorism that we've talked about before, creating these individual incidents. The individuals may face consequences. Some may not. Some may plead out. We don't know yet. But are they really lone wolves when you have this entire partisan apparatus, right-wing media apparatus, a strong contingent of Republicans in the House and Senate, when they're encouraging it? Are they really even lone wolves anymore, even if the physical act is one they carry out by themselves, as far as we know? There's this entire apparatus kind of vaguely encouraging this behavior, if not specifically. Now, some are asking, how is what Steve Bannon is saying not treasonous? Treason is sort of specific in terms of its legal definition, Article 3, Section 3 of the Constitution, which says treason against the U.S. shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. The key is that treason means going against the U.S. and Americans as a whole. This is all kind of tinged enough about going against a political party and a movement that it's probably not sufficient to meet the definition of treason. It's more like a seditious conspiracy to overthrow the particular government that there is, or something like that. But it doesn't make it any more morally acceptable. Let's make that completely clear. So we're going to see more of this action in real life because we're continuing to see more of the rhetoric on right-wing media. And, going back to my earlier segment on Russell Brand, without straight up being anti-vax, and Russell Brand probably isn't anti-vax, he has kind of threaded a line that is asking the right questions, as they love to say, to push people to become anti-vax on their own if they're not already. And if they are already, it just kind of encourages them and ingrains them in those beliefs. This is very similar with what we're seeing with Tucker calling about a real insurrection might be warranted. Steve Bannon talking about 20,000 shock troops and the like. This is real stuff, and it has real consequences in the real world. One of our sponsors is Four Sigmatic, the company best known for their delicious mushroom coffee. Four Sigmatic's mushroom coffee is organic, fair trade, single origin Arabica coffee with both lion's mane and chaga mushrooms. Chaga mushrooms have actually been shown to have potential in supporting the immune system in peer-reviewed studies. I've been drinking Four Sigmatic coffee a lot lately. It actually doesn't taste anything like mushrooms. It just tastes like any delicious coffee, but it's really easy on my stomach, doesn't give me any jittery feeling or a midday crash, and they have over 20,000 five-star reviews. And best of all, if you don't love it, you'll get 100% of your money back because they stand behind their product. You've got nothing to lose by giving it a try. Four Sigmatic is giving my audience up to 40% off and free shipping when you go to foursigmatic.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.